Full Dark, No Stars from 2010, 3 adaptations so far, is Stephen King's 4th collection of novellas. After 1982 different seasons, 3 adaptations so far already reviewed in the same named retrospective. 1990, 4 Past Midnight, 2 adaptations so far published in Germany as Langoliers and Night, and 1999 Hearts in Atlantis, 1 adaptation so far. These contains 4 stories each, except for Atlantis 5 stories, but actually only 1. The book can also be read as a novel. In 2001, Scott Hicks' Hearts in Atlantis is based rather loosely on Low Man in Yellow Coats, the first and longest story from the same named book. All allusions to the Dark Tower series were dropped in the process. The film title refers to the second story, which does not appear here. The adaptation is about a man who, in his old age, remembers his childhood days. As an 11-year-old, he lived with his single mother when one day a neighbor, Ted, moves into the apartment above them. The nice old man soon takes over the father role for him, against the wishes of the mother. While she is actually only busy with herself and her education is limited to phrase-mongering, Ted shows him a larger world, among other things through his special abilities such as telepathy. However, he is on the run from the so-called Low Man in Yellow Coats, here presumably from the Secret Service, which the mother uses to get rid of Ted. The well-cast, enjoyable US mystery drama failed to recoup its $31 million costs and was a financial failure, but received rightly mostly rather positive feedback. In 1995's Langoliers is based on the same named story from 4 Past Midnight. In the extremely faithful US TV 2-parter by Tom Holland, see also the same named retrospective, 10 passengers and crew, 11 in the original, wake up during a flight to find that the rest of them have disappeared. They land on a seemingly abandoned airfield and find out that they are in the past, and that this past time is being consumed every moment by some kind of time eater, aka Langoliers. This would lead to their death unless they manage to get back in sync. Another danger comes from one of the passengers, a businessman who breaks under the pressure, is delusional and starts to kill the others. The fairly entertaining story feels like a far too long Twilight Zone episode, 3 hours after all, and completely falls apart when the 90s CGI time eaters are actually on display. Still, it's one of the slightly better King adaptations. From the same book, there was another adaptation in 2004, David Cobb's Secret Window, based on Secret Window, Secret Garden. In the movie version, which is mostly faithful to the book, author Maud Rainey, who suffers from writer's block and lives separated from his wife, has to defend himself against accusations of plagiarism by the psychopath John Shooter, who also does not shy away from murder. It later turns out that he exists only in his head, and that he himself is responsible for the crimes. What a twist. The ending, however, differs from the one in the book. There, Mort is shot while trying to kill his ex by an insurance agent who was investigating the fire in the Rainey house. In the movie, he kills his ex and her new husband and buries them in the secret garden, where he then plants corn. 2014, Peter Eskin's US direct-to-video horror A Good Marriage is based on the same named story from Full Dark, No Stars. The screenplay came from King himself. After nearly 30 years of marriage, a housewife stumbles upon her husband's dark secret when she takes a curious look in a box in the garage. She finds out, and he confesses to her when he comes home that night, that he's a wanted serial killer who has murdered a dozen women. Out of fear and for the children, she decides to keep his secret. But in reality, she's just waiting for the right opportunity to get rid of him. Film and original are not particularly exciting, very predictable and almost identical, except for the hospital visit to the investigator at the end. In the book, this dialogue takes place somewhat differently at her home. In the same year, Mike Solomon's TV crime thriller Big Driver is also relatively faithful to the same named original from the same book. In the rather uninteresting film quotes collection, a crime writer who constantly has interior dialogues with, among others, her novel characters, the cat or the navigation system, is sent home after a lecture by the organizer on a fateful shortcut and therefore becomes the victim of a serial rapist, who supposedly dumps her dead in a tube, like other victims before. Instead of going to the police, she investigates his details and finds out that the lecture organizer is his mother. So she takes revenge on him and his family. He has also another brother/corporate partner, all of whom seem to be involved in his crimes. In 2017, Zach Hilditch, also rather uninteresting US TV horror 1922, is also based on the same named story from Full Dark, No Stars. In the relatively faithful adaptation, a farmer confesses in 1930 to a crime in the form of a suicide note. Namely, when in 1922 he conspires to murder his wife for financial reasons and convinces his teenage son to help him. In the following, he is haunted by rats and apparitions of his dead wife, which increasingly drives him mad, while his son runs away with his pregnant girlfriend, who then die on the run after several robberies. In the end, the farmer, increasingly a victim of his visions, then sells his land after all, becomes an alcoholic, spending his money on his son's trail through the states, and writes a farewell letter before the ghosts come for him. In the original story, he apparently commits suicide.